Every year, around 2 billion simple pencils are sold in the US, and 14 billion are sold worldwide. Tea has been a cornerstone of writing and drawing, used by everyone from students to famous artists and writers. But how are they made? Hello, and welcome to Infio, where today we are going to uncover the secrets behind the creation of the pencil. The pencils we use every day undergo an intricate process to become the precise writing instruments we rely on. Let's take a look inside the pencil factory and see how it all happens. The main materials for a pencil are graphite, clay, and wood. Graphite, which is a natural form of carbon, is mined from the ground. The best graphite comes from Sri Lanka and Madagascar. Meanwhile, clay is dug up from the earth and is crucial for how hard and dark the pencil lead will be. The wood used in pencils is usually cedar, especially California cedar. This wood is great because it smells nice, doesn't warp, and is easy to get. Pencil makers also use sustainable forestry practices to make sure they're not harming the environment. That's a sustainable process, right? Once all the materials are gathered, the process of making the pencil core begins. First, the graphite and clay are ground into fine powders. The amount of graphite compared to clay determines how hard or soft the pencil lead will be. More graphite means a softer lead, and more clay means a harder lead. Graphite and clay powders are blended with water to create a homogeneous paste. This paste is then fed into a machine to shape it into long, slender rods. Subsequently, the rods are precisely cut to the required length for the production of pencils. The ingenious concept of amalgamating graphite with clay can be attributed to the 18th century chemist Nicolas Jacques Conté. Through his experimentation, he determined that the amalgamation of graphite, clay, and water, followed by molding and baking, resulted in a substance that performed just as effectively as pure graphite. The next step in pencil making is encasing the graphite core in wood. Usually, the wood used is cedar. The cedar arrives at the factory dried, stained, and waxed to prevent it from warping. The logs are cut into narrow strips called slats, each about 7 inches long, 0.25 inches thick, and 2.75 inches wide. The slats are fed into a specialized machine where they are individually released onto a conveyor belt. As they travel along the belt, they pass underneath a large cutting wheel that meticulously carves precise grooves into each slat. These grooves are essential, as they will later serve as slots to hold the graphite cores securely in place. Next, half of the slats are coated with glue, and the graphite is laid in the grooves. The other half of the slats, which don't have glue or graphite, are carried on another belt. A machine picks them up, turns them over, and places them on top of the glued slats with graphite, creating a sandwich. These sandwiches are then clamped together by a hydraulic press until the glue dries. Once the slats are bonded, they go through shaping machines. These machines cut the slats into the familiar hexagonal shape, which is popular because it's easy to hold and doesn't roll off surfaces. The shaping is done in 2 steps. The upper cutter forms 3 sides, and the lower cutter shapes the other 3. After shaping, the pencils are sanded to smooth their surfaces, removing any rough spots for a comfortable grip. Then they are coated with a protective layer of lacquer or enamel to improve their durability and appearance. The pencils are dried and polished to a smooth finish. Sometimes they might get extra treatments, like heat treatment, to make them stronger and less likely to break. Pencils often come equipped with erasers at one end, which adds convenience for writing and making corrections. These erasers are commonly crafted from synthetic rubber or a combination of rubber and other materials, providing a reliable tool for rectifying mistakes while writing or drawing. The concept of affixing an eraser to a pencil was first introduced by Hyman W. Lipman, an American who successfully obtained a patent for this innovation in 1858. Subsequently, in 1872, Joseph Reckendorfer acquired the patent for a sum of $100,000. The production of erasers commences with the introduction of a batch of rubber into a mill, where it undergoes processing between substantial heated rollers. Throughout this stage, a variety of additives such as colors, fillers, and vulcanizing agents are incorporated into the rubber. This meticulous process ensures thorough blending of all components, resulting in the creation of high-quality erasers. Vulcanization is a critical process in the production of erasers. It entails subjecting the rubber to heat and pressure in specialized machines known as vulcanizers. This chemical process alters the properties of the rubber, increasing its strength, durability, and elasticity, which ultimately improves its ability to effectively erase pencil marks. To make the eraser plugs that attach to pencils, the rubber mixture is pushed through a die to form a long cylinder. This cylinder is cut into small plugs. Then, a metal or plastic piece called a ferrule is attached to the eraser plug, and this assembly is fixed onto the pencil. Some steps are automated, but some parts are still done by hand. Pencils are first packaged in large quantities for distribution to retailers, wholesalers, and stationery suppliers. They are packed in sturdy cardboard boxes that can hold hundreds or thousands of pencils. For direct sale to consumers, pencils are put into retail packaging, which includes individual sets or packs. These packs are arranged neatly and may have branding, product information, and barcodes for easy scanning. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like this video. Subscribe to our channel for more insightful content, and leave a comment below about the most interesting part of the video. Thank you for joining us till the end. Bye for now.